Everybody wants to get better at kicking. It's an undeniable fact. And even more so, people want to get really good at spinning attacks. So for this episode of Sensei Seth Kick Stuff, I called in resident expert on spinning attacks. It's me.
Perfect.
So today what we're going to do is we're going to talk about 6 different attacks that you can spin and still land it. Whether it be the... I can't give you any hints. I suppose I'll just have to show you. Okay, so first things first, we're going to talk about the spinning rear kick. When I'm coming like this. Turn, look, knee comes up, and then I drive with a side kick. Not very uncommon. People throw this, you see it more and more. The spinning rear kick, it's a side kick where you flapjack beforehand. Boom, and then switch sides to that spinning rear kick. Boom. Usually you see this one landed to the ribs of either a rushing opponent or somebody who's circling. I've done tutorials on this one in the past, but one more time. Turn this foot, look at your target, drive, load, heel a little bit above your toes, and then drive with both halves of your leg. Try and keep your hip inside of your foot.
Perfect.
For a spinning wheel kick, we kind of take the same concepts and principles, except now I'm throwing a hook kick instead of a side kick. Okay, you can hit with the heel for damage, or you can hit with the bottom of the foot for a little more range. We also have the option here to go long range and go cover distance and really carry ourselves, or to spin in the same place and let this pivot foot stay here. Okay, if you want to follow through a little bit more side to side, probably spin. If you want to go in and attack, use the linear one.
Perfect.
One of the flashier looking ones that I think we've seen work a couple times and are pretty, I wouldn't say high percentage, but they're more high percentage than most spinning attacks. We're going to take this back leg, go turn and pick my knee up. Then I'm going to switch and throw a roundhouse kick. This is called a tornado kick for the most part. I don't care what you call it. Doesn't matter. Ready? And if I want to switch, this one has some of the same options where I can either come in or go up. So if I want to go up higher, that means that I'll pull my knee up high instead of driving it forward. So if I want to go forwards, knee goes at my target. If I want to go up, knee comes up high. And then if I want to go up, knee comes up high. Now granted, maybe kicks aren't your shtick. Maybe your feet got no yeet, okay? So if I want to throw punches too, I have spinning attacks that work really well for punches, and they're the same concept where I use my back hand or my back limb to throw this attack. So if I'm going to throw a spinning rear kick, it's going to be with my back leg. I'm never really turning all the way around, with the exception of like the tornado kick. We talked about this in the past, turning this foot, getting it out of the way. Leave room for your spin. Open up, bang, and throw that back fist. So as I'm doing this, I go turn, open, bang, throw that back fist. This one's pretty cool because it can be defensive or offensive. Doesn't really have a preference. You can be offensive, but just make sure you're stepping through, bang, and then facing your opponent rather than going here, attacking, and then being like, I'll go back this way now, and then showing your back the second time. Okay, so now we're gonna talk about the shorter range version of this attack. Let's say, for example, they came in and rushed me. Bang, my arm couldn't get all the way out. You're gonna end up with this elbow here, and that's the last one. Well, we have a bonus one. I did say 6. Here, I'm stepping out of the way. I'm turning my butt towards my target. I'm going open and then throwing that elbow. Okay, usually you'll see it come up to down a little bit as you're spinning, okay? Try and hit with your elbow here, open hand, make sure we're not flexing and having some give for that muscle to get in the way of all that bone meat. Bone meat? What does that even mean? All that bone. What? I missed. And for our last one, we're not going to be up here. No way. We're going to be sneaky. We're going to throw a kick, but it's going to be down here. And that's a dragon tail sweep, okay? So essentially what I'm doing is I'm dropping down to one knee, and very similar to my spinning attacks, instead of going here and then looking, throwing my attack, I'm going to be on a knee instead. Only difference is what's on the ground. Put my hand over here, and I'm going to slide down and around, okay? So I'm going here. Now, is this one as effective as the other ones? Is it as cool as the other ones? Yes. Sometimes coolness is just what it takes, right? This has been shown to land, like somebody landed this on Stephen Wonderboy Thompson. I talked about this in a former video, but the idea is here, here, and then turn. Once you get used to this, and you can do it pretty fast, to be honest, what I've been really liking lately is dropping this and trying to dragon tail it before it hits the ground. We're still working on it, but you get the idea, you get the concept. That if I can drop something before it hits the ground, that's like a couple milliseconds, I don't know how much time it is, but if I can do it fast, then it can work in the streets. Maybe not this one in the street. Sparring, fighting, somewhere where you're not grinding your knees on concrete. And as you start to watch all these, you notice that there is a common theme. This foot going turn, having eyes on your target, and then after that, what will happen is it'll start to vary. So as I turn and I look, it'll vary on like which limbs I'm using, what I'm attacking with, whether it's a drive or a pull, whether it is this foot is now in a different place because my knee is on the ground, or maybe this foot is turned further so I can easily pull this knee up. For the tornado kick, I want your foot to be full sideways. Now, if you're somebody like me who always wants a little more detail, a little more intricacy, and something a little more personal, I currently have a teachable course up called Spinning Attacks for Fighting. And what we go over is these 6 things. We also talk about setups for each one. We talk about ways for you to practice. We talk about different variations. We talk about tons of different things that involve these spinning attacks and how to land them in a situation for a fight, whether it be amateur, whether it be whatever it is. Pretty much making these kicks that most people think is flashy possible. So these are a lot like seminars in my opinion. I can't necessarily travel around right now and get this done, but what I can do is offer this information in like a seminar style format where I teach you something and then you go off and practice it, and then I teach you something and you go off and practice it, and then at the end what we do is that if you want to, you can have one-on-one video chats with me afterwards. So if you have an issue, you can come to me and do a video chat. And then something that's new is I made an option for 2 video chats. So if you didn't feel like the first one was enough, you went back and practiced again all the stuff that we talked about, you can show me a second time and we can verify it and make sure it works perfectly for you. There's an hour worth of content on here. Honestly, I'm super proud of everything they put together. I think it's something that's gonna be super useful, especially if you're in like a Muay Thai background. We talk about different ways that you can set stuff up. I love the idea of it because not everybody knows how to spin. I think it's underutilized in a lot of people's games. So if you want to check that out, senseiseth.teachable.com/spinning attacks. You guys know the deal. Hit the like button, share it with your buddies. And if you don't subscribe, I will spinning attack you, but you won't know which one it is because they could be any one of them.